So it's a bit of good news, bad news on my book writing front. The good news is I got this email about an international book club that really wants to get into one of my books. The bad news is it's bogus. It's not legitimate at all. It does look very legitimate. It does look very professional, but I'm going to talk you through what it is and how to make sure you're not about to be scammed by someone pretending to be from a book club. Hi YouTube, Al here from One Man Many Plans, and welcome to my latest upload to YouTube, where once again we're looking at author scams. If you're new to this side of the channel, recently I was contacted by a couple of best-selling authors. Isn't that nice? As an author myself, anytime anyone who's actually doing far better than I am, which is most of the authoring world, reaching out to say, hey Al, we want to help you, here's an expert, here's what we recommend you do, yada yada yada, is always really a nice thing to read. The only problem was they were people pretending to be best-selling authors. And if you haven't watched the video, here's a link to it. Long story short, they string you along and try to convince you that they are 100% the person that they're pretending to be, and then they'll either request a fee for their services or point you in the direction of some experts in the publishing world or wherever they're from who will help just elevate what you do to the stratosphere, but it'll cost you. And of course, once you send that money, that's the last time you ever see it. You've done your dash, or you've done your dosh in this case. They get the cash and you'll never hear from them ever again. This time around, we're looking at a different aspect of a very similar scam. It's a book club scam where people reach out and say, hey, our book club's really interested in your book. We'd like to feature you as a prominent author. We want to do a piece on you. By the way, that piece is going to cost you a couple of $100. And the theory is that you go along with it thinking, but if I introduce my book, if I pay this promo fee, and hundreds of people, nay, thousands of people in this book club read my gear and want to try my book on for size, well, I'll make back that $100, a couple of $100 in no time flat. That's the theory. Unfortunately, it's not legitimate. Even though it's very professionally done, looks very credible from the outset. So let's start from the very beginning. Let's get into the original introductory email. I'm not going to read it in its entirety, but I'll cover the gist of it. And it says, hello, my name is Angela. I'm a co-organiser of the Geneva International Book Club. As part of our new current curated author spotlight, we are preparing a new author introduction and feature, highlighting selected writers whose work has sparked strong engagement within our community. Blah, 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 blah. This is a curated highlight of authors whose books have generated strong interest and meaningful discussion among our members. I am pleased to let you know that your books stood out through member engagement and reader interest, which is always what an author wants to hear, placing it among the titles our community is most excited about right now. If anyone's excited about my book, I'm very happy. As part of this feature, your book would be presented through a journal-style editorial spotlight. It lists what the spotlight's all about, and so on and so forth. We would like to reserve a place for your book in this curated introduction. If this feels aligned to you, let me know and I will happily share the next steps. Best regards, Angela, the co-organiser from the Geneva International Book Club. And Angela's been kind enough to pop a little photo at the bottom of her email tail, and there you go. So the email from the outset looks very professional. Now, a quick Google has found out that yes, absolutely, the Geneva International Book Club is legit. There is a Geneva International Book Club roaming the worldwide internet. There's also an organiser called Angela. Wouldn't you know it? And I reckon if you find that picture on the website, it matches the picture at the bottom of the email. That's fantastic. So the business is legit. Angela is real. Whoever wrote this email, though, is not Angela and therefore not from the Geneva International Book Club. I knew it from the outset. The fact that I found this in spam first and foremost told me everything that I needed to know. Even Gmail went, oh, I reckon this is a little bit dodgy. But a few back and forth messages were sent because I was kind of curious. I was trying to get as much info as I could to present to you now, or what you need to look for to work out whether an offer like this is legitimate or someone's trying to fleece your money. And so I've gone back and forth with fake Angela about everything, about how, you know, stoked I am as an author that their people in the book club have picked my book over millions of other books, and you know, I'm so excited to be featured as a prominent author, and I hope plenty of people read my, you know, bio and go, great, Al's books are awesome, I'm going to buy Al's books. And to the point where I've gone, you know, sign me up, Ange. What do I need to do? What do I need to pay for you? What do I get? All of those kinds of things. and she has sent me through a very professional looking detailed editorial feature contribution and what it covers. It's $340 that Angela, fake Angela, is trying to get out of me. And it's an incredible piece broken down. More than likely, like the rest of the emails, actually conjured up with some kind of AI, or perhaps this is a real book club feature somewhere that the scammer has stole. But it breaks it down into what your $340 gets you, including editorial research and literacy feature writing, $120 there. Professional layout, print-ready design, that's going to set me back $85. Community feature placement and reader visibility, $65, yada, yada, yada. It goes on. Features are curated in limited number to preserve editorial quality. So, not everyone gets this offer. You better act quick and pay your $340. And as soon as I got that contract, I said, Ange, that is absolutely fantastic. Love to be on board. Yes, let me pay your fee. How do I pay your fee? And wouldn't you know it, within minutes I get an email from someone without Ange's name, apparently someone else working for the team, through Upwork with a contract ready to go. Could you send you $340 and then fame and fortune will be yours. And obviously I will become the next New York Times bestseller, and here we go. However, like I said from the outset, I knew this was dodgy, and after getting a few more emails, a few more things have popped up. Things that I reckon if you're new to this, you need to look out for, just to check if your offer is legitimate, which honestly, let's be honest, you'll never get anything like this unsolicited, and things that instantly go, this is definitely a scam. So I've built a handy list. Let's crack into it and look out for these book club red flags, if you will. Okay, so here is how to spot a phony book club email. Firstly, it's usually sent from a free email service. We're talking Yahoo, Gmail, or Hotmail. Usually, if you've got a professional website, you'll have that professional website's name as an email, as part of your hosting deal. The fact that this came from, I think it's email Geneva Book Club at gmail.com or whatever it was. I'll pop the address down there as below as a warning when I post this up. Just said enough to go, no, hang on, you've just rolled up an email and you've used AI for a few back and forth scripts and you're filling in the details as you go. This is dodgy. In the opening email too, you'll also notice that they don't actually open with your name, which is really, really strange, because they're reaching out to an author that their group absolutely adores and they want to feature and they want you as part of the website, but they don't even know your name. It just says, hello, I am Angela. That just screams, we have no idea who we're sending this to, and hopefully you'll be gullible enough to read the whole entire email, get excited and reply back. I did, even though I wasn't gullible at all, just to see where this has gone. So if they don't actually open up with your name, that's a massive, massive red flag. Equally, the fact that they don't mention which book the supposed book club people are getting excited about. Now, I've written a handful of books. Some have gone on and sold a few copies. Some have barely moved the needle. But I'd like to know, if a member is getting excited about a particular book, which one is it? There was no mention of any of the books that I'd written in this email. Cold calling email. No mention of my name, no mention of the books. Another way that you can check that this is bogus is by looking at your own sales data. Now, if you're like me and you sell on average one book a month, it's pretty obvious that no one has bought your book. If you had a book club that was suddenly interested, even if it was just 10 members, if 10 members all went, great, this is the next book I'm going to read, well, 10 members would go and buy your book, wouldn't they? And you'd have this sudden spike of 10 sales. You might go, gee, that's a good selling day. Would be for me. I'd like 10 sales in one day. But the fact that if your sales data doesn't correlate with what they're saying, our members are getting into your books and, 50 people are loving it right now. Well, there's no 50 sales there. There's not 10 people that have downloaded it, even through like Amazon KDP. They're not reading it currently. I've got no record of that whatsoever. How are they getting your book? Don't tell me 50 people just pirated your book and now you're reaching out to me for an expose. Now, one trick you can use, and this is highly entertaining, and is one that I used in my last video, is I actually replied in my first email, said, hey, very excited that you are getting into my book and your members are getting into my book, but which book was it? Was it book A or was it book B? And I gave them a couple of book titles. The thing was, the couple of book titles I gave were completely made up. And in no time at all, Angela got back and said, yes, Walter's Water Crisis was the book that our members are getting into. And I just figured that off the top of my head. I'm like, what's a random book title? Walter's Water Crisis. A quick Googling will prove that there's no book out there called Walter's Water Crisis at all, let alone written by me. But Ange never actually got that far. She just assumed that I was being legitimate and promoting one of my own books. I was going to do Walter's Petrol Crisis, but that's probably too timely, and I haven't had the chance to write that award-winning Pulitzer Prize book with the current cost of petrol and the war in Iran and everything else going on at the moment. So I just went Water Crisis, and she said, yes, it's really resonating. Readers are really getting into Walter's Water Crisis. So I think I need to write a book now called Walter's Water Crisis. It's a mouthful even for me to say. And the fact that they didn't even check and just assumed that's one of your books and just ran with it and hyped it up, something that doesn't exist. If that doesn't tell you this is dodgy, I don't know what does. A couple more things that you can check out. Check where the email was sent to. I have a Facebook page, an author Facebook page. On the email address, I've attached a couple of little things. So my Facebook page is called One Man, Many Plans. So there's my address, my Gmail address, my name, plus OMMP. I had to think about that for a sec. Standing for One Man, Many Plans, which means if someone clicks on that link and sends me an email, it comes up in my Gmail, and I know that they've gone into Facebook, they searched for authors, they've clicked that link, and that's how they've got in contact with me. Again, it's not through Amazon, it's not through any of the email links in my books. I'm not sure if I've still got any up and running. Doesn't matter. They've gone to my Facebook page, they've gone, author we can try to scam, we'll click this. We won't say who their name is because we're not sure. We won't ask about what particular book they've written because we have no idea, but we'll just pretend we do. Yeah, check where their email is coming from. The other thing I highly suggest and recommend you do, grab their email address, chuck it into Google, see where it takes you. If it's legitimate, it'll take you back to the website, in this case, the Geneva International Book Club. But lo and behold, it didn't. It coughed up a couple of results for, is this a spam email, in some author groups, and everyone said flat out, absolutely. But that's it. There was no direct connection between this Gmail address that I pulled off the Gmail and the actual legitimate book club, which does exist in real life. So quick Google check. If you're unsure, pretty much should rule things out. Now, this is an old school case from Nigerian spam emails, and it turns out in this case, this wasn't the way that they're trying to get money. It's through Upwork, different service completely, but usually scammers request payment through something like a service like MoneyGram or Western Union. Especially Nigerian fraudsters, that was their favourite for quite some time. This one was an offer through Upwork, and I'm feeling like I'm going to have to reach out to Upwork and go, hey, here's the case, here's the dodgy things one of your members are doing, could you shut them down? I'd really, really appreciate that. So, you know, they're not going to give you a bank account that's traceable. They're not going to give you something that you can easily look up and make sure it's legitimate, or any contact details like that. There was also no phone number on top of this too. So you couldn't ring up Angela and go, Ange, I prefer a conversation on the phone than I do email-wise. There's quite a few things in there that should instantly start ringing some bells. And even if you get one bell, that's probably more than you need to go, hang on, I never asked for this. You've said it through my Facebook page. You don't know who I am. You don't know what I do. But all of a sudden you want to promote me because someone apparently read my book and I've got no correlating data to back that up. Delete, block, whatever you want to do, but please do not fall for it, because let's be honest, with cover design and editors and promotion and everything else, you're probably already spending top dollar on getting your work out there, getting your work noticed and building up an audience. The last thing you need is a couple of $100 just gone vamoosh because some clown pretending to be from a book club fleeced you of $340. So please be extremely careful when you're out there. When in doubt, triple check everything, and best of luck in your writing journeys. Hopefully that doesn't deter you from writing, because I, like the rest of the world, love a good book, and I certainly don't want clowns like this idiot pretending to be Angela to ruin that for other people. Anyway, that's it for today. If you learned something, if you enjoyed it, please leave me a comment below. If you avoided a scam yourself, please leave a comment below, because the more this gets traction, the more the word gets out there, the less effective these idiots are, and the more happy myself and the rest of the writing community will be. Have a great afternoon. I'll chat to you soon. Al out.